Hello everyone and welcome to P-Play, Austin Peay's video game news and discussion show. For our first episode, we want to introduce you guys to the show and what you can expect as the season rolls on. We'll also take a look at gaming disrupting your health and discussing 2017's games of the year. Get ready to get nerdy. This is P-Play. Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of P-Play. I'm your host, Ben Goodman. Alongside me is my awesome friend and co-host, Brandon Crosslin.
Thanks, Ben. So, if you've ever seen anything on APSU-TV before, whether it be live on the air or on YouTube, you've seen all types of shows ranging from the news to comedy, movies, and so on. But a show on video games has never really been done before. So, I'm going to ask the brainchild himself, Ben, how did this show come to life?
Okay, well, in a way, this was always like a weird, crazy idea that it's been said we should have like a video game news show sometime, because I think Will Pryor, who I kind of looked up to as a freshman from a senior, now being a senior, he said we should try to do like a video game talk show. My co-producer, Dr. Rob Barron, who couldn't be here with us today, we just have regular conversations every once in a while, just talking about things that are going on in the news back and forth. But then we'll get stuck on some like nerdy conversation about some games that we're playing or just something, and I get interested. And then I just keep thinking about what Will said years ago, and I'm like, you know what if we actually did something like this? Because let's be honest that video game news and journalism is a growing market.
Right.
That a lot of us as communication majors, we can definitely understand that when we get out of here, we're looking for a job in some kind of market, whether that be in the news, in entertainment, in something like that. And it's just a hobby that I wanted to try to do something that was a lot of fun, and it could be something that could really relate to college students. So we created this concept for P-Play, and I've been working all winter break on this. Like,
I've seen.
We've been building a logo.
Yeah.
We've been working on. I've been trying to make an intro, which we just saw, which was, in editing it can be fixed.
Fixed in post.
That's the beauty of post-production.
Right.
And also just thinking of the concept and ideas. It may be like a bi-weekly thing that we come up with episodes, but we're always looking for like the best and brightest story that we can actually relate to college students and also relate to some real world situations. So when I told you about this, what was your initial like opinion on it?
I was thinking this is really a good idea because college students are typically looking for ways to escape college while they're at college. You know, that's not really something we want to talk about, but I think this gaming is something that college students are really going to be into, and this is the kind of show that's going to attract viewers, something that they're looking to watch. Something I would be looking forward to watching.
Because let me ask you a question. Like, if you were being a typical college student, you have the choice between homework and playing a video game and trying to get a little bit further. Which one are you more inclined on choosing?
If procrastination serves me right, it'll be the video game. But I'll get right back to the work as soon as I get that next level done.
but then you get that little bit of twitch, and it's like maybe just one more level, and then out of nowhere.
You know, Ben, we're gonna start talking about that in the next segment.
We are going to talk about it. I shouldn't jump ahead onto everything, but I will say that this season is going to be a lot of fun. This is my brainchild, and we may only have maybe a few episodes that you guys get to see, but hopefully there's going to be a lot of different things that we're going to be adding, because I've always wanted to try. I've always seen like Smosh Games and like other different YouTube video gamers do Let's Plays and everything.
Do your own thing. Do something special.
I do want to do my own thing, but I mean,
make it unique.
What's one of the biggest things that any YouTuber even starts to get into or gets asked to do so many times while they're being a growing content creator? They're saying, play some video games, do something. I want to see what your reaction is to all of this.
And now Twitch is also spearheading that field as well, and all those Twitch Let's Plays. And
see, I've never gotten really into Twitch. Like every time something happens with like Mixer or something, I get the notification saying, hey, join us on Mixer, and I'm like, I ain't got time for this. I've got homework, or I'm trying to finish my own game. Please let me just have my own thing. But every once in a while, I'll find somebody or just a good news source that I want to look at and just take a few minutes to just enjoy myself and away from everything, from the busyness that college is, to just going and enjoying a different virtual world. And I love the virtual world because I can be whoever I want to be in some form of cases.
In your own mind.
Yeah.
But
So,
definitely a great form of escapism. In our crazy busy lives, it's just a way to chill out for a while, and just don't chill out too long.
No, never chill out too long. Make sure you're always you're working towards everything. Try to get the best that you can out of your life. Enjoy your life, but have a little bit of fun every once in a while, and make sure to find that vice and that way to get out of the world whenever you need to.
Please play responsibly.
This isn't one of those commercials.
No, it's not an AA meeting. Something similar when we get back. We'll be talking about
Oh
that.
my gosh. Well, with all this said, we will take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be discussing one of gaming's biggest health issues entering the new year. Stay with us. P-Play will be right back.
Are you prepared for life outside of college?
Probably not yet.
Austin Peay's Career Services is there to help you transition to post-grad life.
I've had some friends use career services, but I've never used it myself.
Whether you need assistance finding a major or preparing for your future career, this free service has all of the tools to guide you.
We try to equip students and alumni with the tools that they need to go through that job searching process.
They built their resume, and it gave complete relief off of me because I was able to walk out of there and be confident in my next interview.
The entire reason of going to college is so that you can actually get a job. So those resources that are available to you in career services are second to none on campus. It's the best place to go to.
Stop by room 210 in the Morgan University Center or visit www.apsu.edu/careers. Take the first step into your future today.
The honors program at Austin Peay started. There was a group of professors who thought, what are we doing for our strongest students? And since then, the program has changed and grown with the university. And now we have over 300 students who are in the program. It's open to students of all majors.
I wanted something that would set me apart from other pre-med students. So I thought the honor program would help me with that. It's pretty easy to make friends here because everyone here is focused on school because they're in the honors program, so they want to get something out of school. And it's just a nice place to come and study.
In the classrooms, they will be asked to stand on their tiptoes, is what we say. But the classes are more interesting. They move along a little faster. It's a place where those students can congregate to study, so I think students are better prepared for careers and for life in general through that academic curriculum.
Welcome back. As we enter a new year, new health concerns are on the rise. As much as the deadly flu epidemic has appeared on the news, we're not here to talk about that. On January 1st, 2018, the World Health Organization listed gaming as an official health disorder. This coming from the WHO, quote, "Gaming disorder is defined as a pattern of gaming behavior characterized by impaired control over gaming, increasing priority given to gaming over other activities to the extent that gaming takes precedence over other interests and daily activities, and continuation or escalation of gaming despite the occurrence of negative consequences." So if you want to put this into layman's terms, it's basically putting gaming above everything else in your normal daily life. Brandon, what are your thoughts on this?
I think this is really just a simple case of not having your priorities where they need to be. This is just an organizational problem. Some people, the access of multiplayer over this past couple of decades with video games has really driven people to use video games as a platform to connect with their friends, not even just in their own state or city, but also all across the world. You hear people who have made their lifelong friends, or even married people that they've played World of Warcraft with. I've never gotten into that, by the way.
I hope
but,
not.
Xbox Live, I know plenty of my friends from high school, they knew people from Florida just because they played Halo 3 with them, or played Call of Duty or Counter-Strike. There's just lots of communities out there. So some people feel like they have more human interaction through multiplayer than they do in their actual lives, and so they they would rather cling to that because that's what they know.
Yeah, but I even think on another standpoint of kind of like a psychology standpoint. I'm not a psychology major at all. I've been here for 4 years, but I kind of still think is like, what are the things that we need to start to be thinking about? Like, there's personal life that, honestly, in my life, gaming is one of my biggest things that I love, and one of my biggest priorities that I like to take for myself. I don't want to try to make it like a permanent thing, like in outside things, unless it's part of my career. Like, I want to go out with friends. I want to go have some fun. I want to go to basketball games.
Right.
I want to enjoy my life. I don't want to be just stuck and sitting on a couch, just absolutely just compelled into a video game that I'm going to be spending hours upon hours on nonstop. I've seen something before, and this was somehow created from science, that a man that was playing video games like 3 days nonstop never left his chair.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
I actually saw that too.
He lost all of like the numbness and muscles in his body.
Oh my gosh.
And he died from this.
Yeah.
I'm not making this up. This is a very
true
serious
story.
thing.
Very sad and true.
It's a very serious thing, and I'm just like thinking, who could I know that could possibly be wanting that could do that? And even I think about some of my friends, like constantly, if I'm going over to their house, I'm trying to enjoy some time with them, because these are my friends. These are amazing people that I get to see so much and I've gotten to grow up with. But constantly we're just stuck there playing video games. And then whenever I'm hearing about what they're doing, I'm like, what could they be doing right now? Like, I'm working on homework. I'm working on a paper. I'm trying to produce this show. What's he doing right now? He's probably working on trying to be a professional gamer in esports and everything. I'm like, go out and get a date, please.
Now, if I think about my experience, if I have any experience with this, if I'm on this show for future episodes, you'll hear me talk about Skyrim a lot, because I feel like here I go again, right?
Go for it.
Like, in the summer of 2014, that's whenever I started playing Skyrim the most. And I feel like I went on long binges per day in that summer. Pretty sure I gained some weight that summer. And it wasn't from, like, really, you should really limit your time. And
we laugh about this, but then again, I'm even thinking to myself of like, well, I just bought Skyrim for my Xbox again. I'll just play a little bit. You can't play a little bit. If you enjoy something, you're not gonna play just a little bit. You are going to be playing hours upon hours. Just like, I want to invest all this time, and honestly, that's a very bad mental health thing that should just be addressed. And I'm glad that the World Health Organization finally addresses something like this.
As Master Yoda said, control, you must learn control. You've got to be able to manage that time and realize what's really important in your actual life, okay? Yeah. This video game world is not your actual life.
No. But the weird thing is,
once you're sucked into it, it's
once you're
hard
sucked
to get out
into
of it.
You're sucked into it, and sometimes you can't get out. And if you do get out, you take it with you. That's the problem. Have you ever known somebody that just like play GTA all the time, that's all they ever play, and then years down the road you might hear something a little too close to that it may be like GTA-esque, that they committed a crime?
I do not believe in those kind of cases.
You don't believe in that?
No, I do not believe that video games can cause real world violence. There's not enough evidence to prove that that's an epidemic.
Well, I mean, it could be something that scientists could study and whatnot.
Use a scientific method for it.
I'd be interested in actually conducting myself in that study if it was ever like an official study.
To be continued. If you beat somebody up in an alley, we'll let you know.
No, you just see a wasted bar, you black out, and then you just wake up and back in the hospital.
That's not how the world works.
That's not how the world works. You only get one life. That's it. So enjoy this life while you got the opportunity.
But on a serious note, we definitely should take gaming disorder seriously.
Very serious.
And it treated just like any other addiction with drugs or alcohol. Certainly not as quickly to be a death problem, but eventually it will.
It could, along the lines it could, and which I'm glad, just to throw this out there, that I do enjoy something that Austin Peay doesn't provide. They do provide counseling services as well.
Correct.
So if your friends really are trying to help you out and trying to refer you to just somebody that can talk to you and give you a little bit of help, then go and take advantage of those services.
Yeah. And they're nice people. They're not going to intimidate you. You can walk right in, and they're ready to help you out. It's their job. It's what they're here to do.
Yeah, it's a non-judgment zone, which I do appreciate. But I mean, if you need to take that, I've even, just for my own personal thing, I've even had to consider it just a few times, just to be like, maybe I just need to talk to somebody because my friends can't help me out right now, and I just need to talk to somebody. But I mean, there's one thing to think about, and if you ever do need any help, please make sure to take that opportunity to get that help. So
that's why they're there.
Yeah, Brandon, you got any final thoughts on this?
I think I've said everything I need to say. On this segment. So.
I think so too. And if you want to learn more about gaming disorder and what it entails, visit who.int. That's who.int. When we come back, we wrap up our show with our thoughts on the best games of 2017 and what to expect for this year. Stick around, you're watching Peay Play.
Welcome back, everyone. As you may have guessed, 2017 was a great year to be a gamer. With so many amazing games to choose from, we wanted to take a look at some of the top games from their genre and platforms. Now, we got a list here that's been pretty similar across the board as if you look at different gaming news platforms all over the web. And they put them in these different categories. And to be honest, 2017 wasn't as strong of a year as compared to others, but still there are some really good standing out games that really did break through on all platforms.
Okay, well, go ahead and start talking about just start with the genres.
So let's get into it. So the best action game they're saying is Middle-earth: Shadow of War. Now, this takes from the Lord of the Rings lore, if you know anything about Lord of the Rings, and of course, me being a Skyrim fan, it looks just like the Elder Scrolls to me, but with a little bit of XCOM 2 added in there as well, because the way, when it jumps out to the map styles, you can see more strategic bits on the map.
Yeah, I mean...
And also, it had that Grand Theft Auto mini-map I noticed on the bottom left corner. Something you don't get on other RPGs, but it's not an RPG though.
What other action game doesn't have a mini-map though? You kind of have to know where you're going.
In this economy, you got to have a mini-map.
Wait a minute, the only game that I know that could be like an adventure action game, Skyrim, it doesn't have a mini-map. It just has your compass. You just go back and forth.
Yeah, the compass. If you need the map, you get it out, and it pulls up in your map screen.
Oh, that's where the triangle is. Okay, I'm going the right way now. All right, continue.
Okay, so moving on to Best Shooter, with no titles like Halo to talk about, we got to go somewhere else, and that brings us to Bethesda for Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Basically, this just continues from Wolfenstein 1, and it's that old classic "what if the Nazis won the war" scenario.
I don't like to think about that in reality.
Not a pretty picture, and the game makes sure that it's very dark.
But I mean, the thing I do like think about it, because I am like a history buff. Every once in a while I do like to just pull up my history thing, which I love Assassin's Creed, and it brings that. I'm just going off on a different tangent.
It's okay.
But it's okay. I do every once in a while think and am that conspiracy theorist. What if this were to happen? What if blah blah blah? So like this. But I mean, I'm taking my anger and aggression out at the end of the day on Nazis because America. That's why.
Yeah, I'm such a big fan of alternate history, and there's this alternate history hub YouTube channel that I love watching. He talks about the Fallout universe. Like, He goes on that whole timeline. I'm pretty sure he's done a Wolfenstein timeline. I wouldn't be surprised.
I would not be surprised about that either.
Because it's also under Bethesda, the same people that make Fallout, and they're really good. Wolfenstein 2 had watched the cinematic trailer that they showed at E3 again, and I just love how they make it look like an old-fashioned 50s commercial. Like, you got the little girl walking, and like it's a little happy town where everybody's friendly, Yeah. And then here comes her big robot dog flipping the car off the guy.
It's called a fake reality. That's what that's called.
Yeah. It just reminded me of so much of their Fallout E3 commercials for like Fallout 3 and New Vegas.
All right, continue.
All right, moving on to Best RPG. Now, this one would be considered a JRPG. It's Persona 5. And this entailed a lot of the Japanese style artwork, anime. And so you play the role of a Japanese high school student in Tokyo. And what you do is you just walk around high school, and it's got some Sims aspects from what I've seen. You get to make sure your grades stay in line, you stay friends with people, and there's so many different ways to interact with the world. I love RPG. For me, is really one of my favorite genres.
Yeah.
Because the closest we can get to a life simulator, it's just things I like to do, because I like being able to have no bounds, sandbox, no bounds to what I can do in a game.
So that's why you're a Sims person still.
I'm not a Sims person,
You're
actually.
not?
No, I find it too difficult.
I can kind of get where you're.
There's too many things to handle.
There's way too many things. Plus, they might die. Then you got to start all over again.
But back to Persona 5, what the gimmick about it, what's so crazy about it is you can, whenever you make friends and enemies in this game, and since it's an anime, you can have these really cool things where when you fight with your enemies, you turn into this metaphysical monster, and so does your enemy.
Yeah.
And so it turns into like a Pokemon game, I guess. I don't know. You got the fight.
Oh my God.
Classic anime transitions.
Classic anime style.
Yeah. So
go for it.
A lot of things to look forward to in that. So that's a game I looked at it, and I think I would really consider playing it. Moving on to Best Adventure Game is Night in the Woods.
I looked at this a little bit, and I haven't gotten to play it too much, but I've gotten to see some Let's Plays of it, and a lot of it runs like another kind of 2D platformer, it's a venture game,
right,
called Oxenfree, and I love just how it works, because but it's also very story based, and the decisions you make in this thing play out to the rest of the story and how the game is played. So you're going to have some different ways to end this game, but I love how just stories basing on your decisions and what you would decide, making the character decide. That's something I do love in games, that gives you that freedom of choice.
It reminded me a lot of Undertale, which I think goes without saying was probably the 2016 Best Adventure Game. But it takes a lot of patience in the beginning of this title, because you're just walking around as a coming-of-age cat. Was it a cat?
It's like a cat figure.
Cat character? Yeah, you play this cat character named May, I think it is. And you're just walking around, and your parents yell at you. You're like, nothing's fair in the world. And then you walk around and have conversations with people outside. And you go through this mundane, every day-to-day experience. And as a gamer, that really, for people who have little to no patience, it's hard to get through this beginning. It's like, wow, this is a really long tutorial section. This is a really long prologue. But I like how they do this, because it really tests you. Like, are you prepared to take this seriously?
Yeah.
Because if you're not, and you're just somebody who wants to cut to the chase really quickly, you'll turn it off.
Yeah.
But the further you go into this, you find this hand, this severed hand out in the street. And one of the things you can do is like a little mini game section. You poke at the hand, and it opens up the sleeve, and you see this little diamond tattoo. This is not a spoiler, by the way. This is just the beginning. You see a little diamond tattoo, and then later on you're out. You wonder why the title is Night in the Woods. It's because it turns out at night you see this guy get murdered, which starts a murder case. So it makes the game a lot more interesting.
Well, I think we just picked up a...
That's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler.
Not a spoiler? What are you talking about? Man, our crew today is just
it's just to get you into it.
They're very spirited today, aren't y'all?
If you think about playing Night in the Woods, just know it's not as mundane as it seems at the beginning.
All right. Let's go ahead and continue because we might have to speed this up just a little
Sure.
bit.
Best fighting game, Injustice 2. I played this for a little bit in the summer with my friends. Basically just the DC fighter, Capcom style side fight.
The continuation of the first game that came out in like 2013, and I started playing it back in Christmas time, and I picked up the Ultimate Edition. Amazing, and there's no doubt that this was the top fighting game for the year. And also, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are coming out in February.
Is that a DLC?
Yes, and you cannot make that up. And I'm just like, are you serious right now?
Donatello versus Supergirl. I can see it now.
I don't know how they're going to play that. I'm really interested in how they're going to play that.
Are they going to look like the early 90s live action?
No. I was even thinking it's like the 2010s like crude animation of them from the movies.
I'm sure they'll make them look all right.
They'll be fine.
Moving on to best platformer. Who else but Super Mario Odyssey. And looking at this gameplay, it looks a lot to me like Mario Galaxy, which is something I played on the Wii for a little bit. Never really got into it, but really you can't go wrong with Super Mario when you're talking about platformers.
No.
Moving on to best puzzle game, Snipperclips. And this title easily could have been on the Wii. The only real difference is you're not using nunchucks, and it has a lot better graphics.
Hey, but the Switch is one of the best things that ever came out from Nintendo.
So I've been told. It's like their magnum opus. They're not going to be making consoles anymore, so they wanted to finish with a bang. Now moving on to best strategy game, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Now, if you like XCOM 2, which I know some friends that like it, I'm not really a fan because I can't run it on my puny little laptop. But if you like real-time strategy where you have to peek around corners and get enemies, think about that only with Mario and Rabbids universe. Not a fan of Rabbids, but
the thing I was
been around
surprised
for a
about,
while.
It's a Ubisoft title, not a Nintendo title.
Right.
That's the one thing that got me.
It's like, I thought Rabbids was like a Sony-only franchise, you know, like they were only on PlayStation for a while.
I don't know.
But here they are mixing with Nintendo in an XCOM 2 battle.
I never really liked the Rabbids, but
I don't either.
Please proceed.
Just reminds me of last decade, being a child.
Yeah.
Moving on to best racing game, iRacing. No, just kidding. It's Forza Motorsport 7. And this guy says it like Forza. It's Forza, people. Forza Motorsport 7.
I just call it as I see it. When I see a word that I don't get it, like I'll just see it how it is. Forza.
Well, anyway, this is the best, besides Gran Turismo. I've never played any Gran Turismo titles, but I can say this is the best console racing simulation out there. Currently on the market is Forza. They always have the really good DLC. Any car you can think of, almost any professional tracks you could think of. I'm a racing fan myself, and we did a little playing on this one, and it looks really good.
Yeah. I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit because I'm not sure how much time we do have. But going into now the platforms, for the best PC game, we have PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, or more popularly known as PUBG.
Right.
Basically, your Hunger Games with guns.
It goes without saying.
It goes without saying.
This one just blew up in 2017. Everybody's playing it, and
then you all blow up.
Yeah. And I've watched my roommate play this so many times, and it's so easy to die because you jump out of the plane, and then you gotta run around the map, and really, like you said, it's like Hunger Games because the map size will shrink because they'll add this
blue
gas, the coughing gas that'll make you die. So you got to run towards the middle, and it gets there's like 75 players. I mean, it's huge.
That's 100, I believe. Yeah.
Is it 100?
Yeah,
okay.
it's 100.
Huge player size.
Yeah.
And they all will eventually get to the end. I think my roommate has won maybe twice.
You got a winner chicken dinner.
You win a winner chicken dinner, and I just heard a lot of sleepless nights of him yelling at the thing, dying when there was like 5 people left.
All right. Well, we got to wrap this up, so I'm just going to list off these things real quick. Best Xbox One game for the year, Cuphead. Best PS4, Horizon Zero Dawn. Best Nintendo 3DS Game, Metroid Samus Returns, Best Mobile Game, Momentum Valley 2, and this one won 3 awards, and no doubt that it was supposed to, for Best Action Adventure, Switch Game, and Game of the Year, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Absolutely.
So I've got a lot of catching up to do.
Like a premier title for the Switch. They really hyped it up.
Yeah, just a little bit. Well, that's our show. Before we go, I'd like to thank Brandon for helping me out and making the show happen today. I could not have done it without you.
Glad to be here, man.
Also, thanks to our awesome crew of students working behind the scenes to make this all possible. And finally, I just want to thank my co-producer, Dr. Rob Barron, on helping me to make this show all come together. I'm looking forward to an awesome season.
I am too.
So,
it's going to be fun.
Until next time, let's go Peay.